this video, we're going to take a look at solving an inequality. It is kind of turned around here. What I mean by that is I generally like my x to come first and then have this other piece on the back side. So I'm just going to rewrite it. So I'm going to take this negative 5 halves x and I'm going to write it first. I can reorder it as long as I make sure to take the signs with it. And then I'll have this minus 5 on the back end there. See, for me, that looks a little bit more like normal, and I like that. Okay, so now let's start taking care of moving things around. I need to move this minus 5. So I'm going to do that by adding 5 to both sides. Think about doing the opposite of what you see there. So when you saw minus 5, you do the opposite, which is to add 5. Because what happens is that cancels it out. And we're left with negative 5 halves x is less than 10 plus 5 is 15. Now, we have to get this negative 5 halves off of the x. And I could divide by negative 5 halves. And if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. But I'm going to do another opposite. Another opposite would be to multiply by the reciprocal. Now, that's a big fancy word that just means the flip of this fraction. So the flip of this fraction would be negative 2/5. So if I multiply both sides by negative 2/5, let's take a look at what happens. Now watch what happens over here. Negative 2 times negative 5 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 divided by 10 gives me 1x. See, they cancel each other out. And so I'm left with 1x. Beautiful. Okay. Now over here on the right side, I'm going to think of this 15 as 15 over 1. And I'm going to do 15 times negative 2, which gives me negative 30. And on the bottom, 5 times 1 is 5. And so that's going to end up giving me a negative 6. But friends, I've left this blank intentionally. I've left it blank because I want you to notice we multiplied by a negative number on both sides of the inequality. And there is a cardinal rule with inequalities. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, you flip the inequality. So that's why I left this one blank for a little bit, because I wanted us to talk about it. So instead of this being a less than, I got to flip it around to make it a greater than. So now my final answer is going to be x is greater than negative 6. Okay, so be real careful with that rule. If you multiply or divide by a negative number on both sides of the inequality while you're solving, you have to flip the inequality around.